Okay, well, thank you very much mga kaibigan ko, kababayan ko dito po sa Malaysia. Kumusta kayo po? And ito po, nandito naman tayo sa programa natin, Nick Talk, Real Talk with Nico. And ito, ang kaibigan ninyo, kababayan ninyo, si Nico Fabian. Today is Sunday, and blessed Sunday to each and every one of us. And I hope everything is running smoothly. And we are now preparing for another working week, next week. Starting bukasyon po. Ngayon, bisperas ng Lunes. Bisperas ng Lunes. And, okay, sige na po. Once again, I would like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to each and every one of us who are monitoring or participating dito po sa programa natin for today. Salamat pagi, salamat patang, and salamat malam, overseas Filipino workers kung nasaan man kayo. Ito po si Nico Fabian, again inviting and hoping that today and the week to come will be memorable, fruitful, and problem-free week for all of us. Okay, diretso na tayo po sa mga topics natin dito dahil Sunday ngayon, medyo konting sabihin natin relax muna tayo ngayon, no? But anyway, mas relax tayo. Mayroon pa mga sabihin natin issues sa Pilipinas that really concern sa atin po mga overseas Filipino workers, dito sa Malaysia, sa mga countries sa Southeast Asia, Europeans, America, and saan pa po, sa China, saan pa, sa Japan, or kung nasaan mayroon overseas Filipino workers. So, dito po sa programa natin, Nick Talk, I'm going to give you, siguro hindi naman breaking news, but at least, ang news that you deserve. You deserve, and you deserve to know immediately po. Immediately. So, okay, let's start with our program. May mga issue ngayon po, kasi dumating na po ang season ng budget, national budget natin po. They are going to start very soon na po ang budget natin. So may mga issue na naman tungkol sa confidential fund, tungkol ang mga budget proposal for certain departments po like Department of Public Works and Highways, ang education natin po, ang agriculture natin po, no? Ang tourism, kung saan-saan pa po. Now, itong mga authorities concerned natin po will have to defend ang budget nila po because they will be scrutinized by itong senador at saka mga congressmen natin po once the deliberation will start anytime soon. Anytime soon po. So, it will be a tough and busy months na naman for the Committee on Finance, both sa House of Representatives at saka dyan po sa Philippine Senate po, mga senators natin po. And let's hope po that everything will run smoothly, walang kalukuhan, no hanky-panky po when we approve with the President Bongbong Marcos will approve itong 2026 budget, which is running into something like 6.7 ba yun? Trillion pesos for the year 2026. But before going to that 2026 budget, sana lang po a lot of Filipinos, even mga Filipinos dito sa Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Sabah, dyan po sa Sabah, now they're asking the explanation kung ano talaga nangyari sa budget 2025, National Budget 2025, which has been described by majority of the Filipinos and our authorities po as the most corrupt national budget po. Now, ang former chairman ng Committee on Appropriation, sino ba ito? Si Congressman or Representative Saldico po, should come out and explain thoroughly, clearly to the Filipinos po paano paano or ano nangyari sa, sabihin natin, budget 2025. We will not forget that, as some senators has repeatedly said. We are not going to forget the 2025 national budget dahil we'll be busy already sa 2026 budget. Imposible daw yun po. The Filipino deserve to know what really happened sa 2025 national budget. And kung sino may kasalanan po, justice must be served. They must be accountable. And if found guilty beyond reasonable doubt, no? Now they have to pay for the crime or corruptions that they sabihin natin got involved in the 2025 budget. Dapat na yan po. No? Dapat na yan po. And of course, mayroon na nagsubmit na ang executive body natin sa Pilipinas, ang presidente po, ang 2026 budget niya po. And of course, it will be further scrutinized, studied, and it will return back after the deliberation of the joint committee between the House of Representatives and the Senate po, ang BICAM, which will be open to the public this time around. Accordingly, now before the President will sign the GAA, General Appropriation Act, no? For the 2026 budget po, he will again scrutinize it, read it properly, review it, and then he will sign for proper implementation. Proper implementation po. So, yun na po. So, anyway, sige lang po. Another question now is that, ano ba ito? Ang issue between the confidential fund of the President. The President apparently has something like 4-point-something billion pesos. Billion po. Remember, it's B. Billion pesos confidential fund that he's requesting for 2026. And zero for the Vice President. And you know, the big hua last year, na they're talking about the alleged misappropriation of 1.26 million pesos confidential fund of Inday Sara Duterte. That is 1.6 million yun po. Against ang budget, ang confidential fund ni, sabihin natin na Presidente Bongbong Marcos last year is also by the billions, hindi lang millions po. No? Why? What happened po? Do we deserve an investigation on how the President Bongbong Marcos used the confidential fund for him for 2025 and of course itong 2026 or hindi na bale po. Since they're talking about the congressman filed sabihin natin na impeachment complaint against VP Sara because of that 1.26 million pesos po. Why single out only the office of the Vice President? Why not the office of the President? Why not the other departments po? No? Who got the confidential funds? Why not also investigate? So apparently, all those things were politically motivated. Motivated na po. And yun na po. That makes angry ang mga Filipinos. So anyway, sige lang. I will start the story. I will share with you one story dito po. I got it from ABS-CBN, which we will be talking about ICC po, no? The legal team of former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte are now preparing for their appointment with the ICC Court or International Criminal Court po on the reading of charges kay former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte dyan sa ICC come September 23rd. That will be next month. So I will be sharing with you an article po And I believe that you also deserve to know anong ang detalles, the latest updates when we talk about the preparation of the reading of charges of Tatay Digong po dyan po sa ICC schedule on September 23rd. The heading of the news article is Duterte's ICC defense team preparing for confirmation of charges hearing, says VP Sara or the Vice President. Nandito po ang detalles. The defense team of former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte is now preparing for the upcoming confirmation of charges hearing before the International Criminal Court or ICC next month, according to Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. She shared this in a speech at a gathering with Filipino community in Quiet Friday, August 15. And ito po, naghahanda na sila para sa confirmation of charges. Maaring narinig nyo na, sabi ni Inday Sara Duterte. The Hague is also preparing for the event ba yun? For the case hearing po. The former president is said to reappear before the ICC pre-trial Chamber 1 for his confirmation of charges hearing on or to begin on September 23rd over his crimes against humanity case. The younger Duterte also disclosed that her father's defense team is preparing another filing before the ICC but did not give details. At the Vice President also reiterated in her speech before the Filipino community the previous filing of the defense challenging the ICC jurisdiction and the request for interim release. So, ito po, yun po ang latest development natin tungkol sa ICC. Hearing of charges of Tatay Digong on September 23rd. Let's wait and see po, no? Let's wait and see si Inday Sara Duterte, the Vice President, when she was interviewed by the Filipino reporters ba yun? Or community dyan po sa Kuwait. She said she cannot talk much about the hearing or case of Tatay Digong dahil po may legal team si Tatay Digong and it is not proper for her to talk about the case po. So, she even requested those who questioned her or asking for her reaction, she even suggested that pwede naman sila siguro just pass the question to Attorney Nicholas Coffer po. Because Attorney Nicholas Coffer is also the legal or chief legal team ni Tatay Digong and is open to the media. So, yun na po, no? Yun na po ang latest update natin tungkol sa kay Tatay Digong. Earlier, I was talking about the 4 billion, 4.7 if I'm not mistaken, 4.6, 4.7 billion confidential funds of President Bongbong Marcos. And the administration of Bongbong Marcos through the House of Representatives, no? They filed an impeachment case against Inday Sara Duterte, no? Because of this, they want to find the accountability of Inday Sara Duterte when it comes to disposing itong 1.26 million lang po, pesos of confidential fund of Inday Sara Duterte. However, the impeachment complaint of the House of Representatives did not materialize po dahil ang Supreme Court official announced earlier that the move was unconstitutional. Unconstitutional. And just recently, the House of, or the Senate has archived the issue po of Inday Sara Duterte's impeachment bid. Alright? So this time around, I want to share with you, I would like to share with you isang video clip that I recorded for you to listen, for you to watch po. Ang reaction, observation, the former secretary during the time of Tatay Digong as president, si Attorney Harry Roque po, no? He is also a lawyer by profession and well-respected lawyer. So, let's listen to this article. When I got this video clip po, one of the supporters of vlogger of Tatay Digong, ang Duterte TV po. Thank you very much for the video clip, no? That I managed to, sabi natin, got it to from the Duterte TV blogger. Blogger po. So, nandito, let me share with you this particular observation of Attorney Harry Roque. Nandito po. Let's listen to this. Hold on.
Ang kanyang confidential funds.
Hold on, ha?
Yan ang Marcos Jr. na 4.5 billion ang kanyang confidential funds at intelligence funds sa proposed 26 budget.
Alright, sandali. Parang, yung naman, ano,
Para sa 100
hold on.
confidential funds.
Ibalik natin. Para klaro talaga.
Yan ang Marcos Jr. na 4.5 billion ang kanyang confidential funds at intelligence funds sa proposed 26 budget. Samantalang, in-impeach nila si Inday Sara Duterte para sa 125 million confidential funds. Again, bakit ba ito dapat maging dahilan para lahat tayo maalarma? Dahil ang confidential at intelligence funds, hindi po yan nasasab na dandawit o hindi napapasailalim sa Toro audit. Hindi po kinakailangan i-liquidate yan. Merong certification lamang na susulat yan na yan ay ginamit para sa public purpose. No? So matindi po yan. Yan ay, kumbaga, bank account with no responsibility and accountability. Ang tanong, ang rule po ang mga intelligence funds at confidential funds ay para sa mga ahensya ng gobyerno na kumakalap ng impormasyon para sa national security. Ang tanong, bakit merong 4.5 billion na presidente samantalang may hiwalay naman na confidential at intelligence funds ang Armed Forces of the Philippines, ang Philippine National Police, ang NICA, lahat po ng ating intelligence gathering agencies ay meron silang confidential at intelligence funds. Bakit kinakailangan pa ng presidente ng piggy bank na 4.5 billion? And yet, pinagdiskitahan si yung 125 million ni Inday Sara. Well, ang sagot po dyan, dahil kinakailangan ni Marcos Jr. na bilhin ang katapatan ng mga tao na susuporta para siya'y manatili sa pwesto. Sino yan? Wala dyan na rin kasundaluhan, kaya magbibigay yan ng puno ng mga benepisyo doon sa mga commanders para wag silang mag-coup. Pangalawa, binibigay din yan sa mga politiko. Dahil alam naman natin na mga politiko ay talagang dugong buwaya at lalamon ng podo galing sa taong bayan kapalit ang kanilang katapatan. Pero ito po ay katapatan for sale at hindi tatagal. Pangatlo, dahil sa kanilang pagnanais na yumaman courtesy of public funds. At alam na naman, ang dugong Marcos, sinanamos na po yan with corruption and plunder. Dahil nga po sa Guinness Book of World Records, nasa top 5 po ang mga Marcoses bilang pinaka-corrupt na mga leader sa buong daigdig. Kaya asahan nyo na po, yung 4.5 billion na yan, pamimigay para bilhin ang loyalty at para lamunin ng mga magdanakaw na dugong Marcos. Yan.
Alright, yan po ang reaction, observation, statement coming from Attorney Harry Roque po. And it was shared yan po sa social media by the supporter of Tatay Digong. Ang title niya po is Duterte TV po, no? TV. So, yan po. And of course, another video clip that I want to share with you po, so that you mayroon kayong mga idea what is happening sa Pilipinas po, no? tungkol sa saan ba ito, ha? Hold on, ha? Tungkol sa I mentioned earlier about ang mga flood control projects dyan po sa Pilipinas. Dami tayong problema dyan, no? Sa flood control projects po. And isang government official, a mayor by himself, no? And a retired police general po. I'm referring to no other than si Mayor of Baguio City, si Benjamin Magalong. He's one mayor dyan po sa Pilipinas who is very vocal about corruption he discovered dyan po sa Baguio City, sa lugar niya po, no? Ito mga flood control projects po. And he promised that he is doing his own investigation, and whatever the findings po, he intend to directly send the informations or proof or evidence po to the President himself, si President Bongbong Marcos. Sabi niya po, he don't have any intention to share his proof or evidences po, no? Diyan sa House of Representatives, in the event they will have this inquiry or probe, no? On the flood control anomaly, as well as on Tuesday, August 19 po, ang Blue Ribbon Committee chaired by Senator Marco Rodante Marcoleta will start the investigation on this particular issue po. But according to Mayor Magalong, his evidences, his proof po, no? He will send it direct to the President po. And he wants to see what the President Marcos action he will take against these individuals, which he said, there are people, congressmen, lawmakers involved in this anomalies. Contractor na, congressman pa. Sabi ni Mayor. But anyway, let's see. And let me share you ang portion of the interview of the mayor po, no? Of the mayor. Si Mayor Magalong by the mainstream media dyan po sa Pilipinas just recently. Ito po, let's listen.
Mostly mga anomalies, mataas makikita mo na lang.
Okay, sandali. Medyo na-stop. Sandali po.
Mostly mga anomalies, mataas makikita mo na lang.
Hold on, ha?
Yes, mostly mga anomalies, mataas makikita mo na lang.
Medyo may problema tayo. But anyway, another video clip. Dito po.
Ako ng feedback. Okay, hintay pa.
Sir, may we know kung ano-ano itong mga klaseng ebidensya na hawak ninyo? Are these documentary evidence directly linking some lawmakers sa kickback sa mga proyekto?
Yes, mostly mga anomalies, mataas makikita mo na lang doon siguro kung sino yung mga potential na mga lawmakers na makikinabang doon. No?
Opo. Anomalies like, ano po mga example nito, sir? Ano ba mga scheme itong pinag-uusapan natin?
Katulad yan, yung mga overpricing ng mga sheet piles, ano? Yung paggamit ng, let us say, ang gusto nilang dapat na ilalagay na sheet piles, yung mga Z na hot roll, pero gagawin nila, ilalagay nila yung mga cold form lang. Kumbaga, instead na yung mamahalin, ina-downgrade nila kasi nga yung mga contractors, nag-aabot din sila ng mga ibibigay nilang porsyento, ano? Kasi nga malaki nga yung hinihingi ng mga politiko sa kanila eh. Kaya kakabulin nila ngayon kung sakasakali man na nakalaki ng porsyento pa rin, hindi naman kasali doon sa program of work yung porsyentong ibibigay nila eh.
Opo.
Kaya
Kaya ang una kong tanong sa kanila is, kung 30% na lang ang naiiwan, anong gagawin nyo? Sir, isa-substandard namin. Let's say, for example, kung yung sheet cal na gagamitin is C, gagamitan na lang namin ng U, yung U-type, gano'n. Kaya dadayain nila katulad yung doon sa isang photo ng isang dike, na nasira sa Northern Luzon. Isipin mo na ang lumabas doon isang metro na sheet tile. Tanong ko agad, ilan pa dapat ang lalim niyan? Sabi sa akin sir, mga 6 meters, yung iba 9 meters. Paano lumabas ng 1 meter, pinaputol? Sir, hindi po talaga mapuputol yan. Unless puputulin mo, ibig sabihin, talagang 1 meter lang ang nilagay.
I'm sorry sir, ang mga nakakausap nyo dito ay mga kontratista mismo na sinasabi sa inyo kung ano yung...
Mga kontratista mismo.
Okay. Pero sir, may nabanggit din kasi si Senator Lacson na sinasabi ina-arbor daw po yung mga proyekto kapag na-award na kukuhanin. Have you heard the same scheme, sir? At baka may iba pa na...
Yes.
Oo.
Maraming scheme kasi yan, maraming scheme George, yung scheme na talagang kukuha sila ng contractor. Pero kung yung congressman contractor, yun, mag-arbor talaga siya ng na lang na lisensya. Tapos opera na lang niya yung gagamitin yung lisensya ng isang contractor tapos sasabihin na lang niya, bigyan na lang kita na royalty. 3%, na royalty. Tapos sasabihin na lang niya na bibigyan na lang kita ng project na multi-purpose building para at least kumita ka naman. Yan yung kongrehista na contractor.
Alright, yun po, narinig natin ang statement, boses ni Mayor of Baguio City, si Benjamin Magalong. So, grabe po ang mga revelation ni Mayor Magalong. And let's see po, let's see. Kaya nga, I'm also very excited sa Tuesday, August 19 po, to listen to the or monitor ang first session ng investigation ng Senate po, ang Blue Ribbon Committee spearheaded by Dante Marcoleta or Senator Dante Marcoleta po. And I don't know when ang House of Representatives they're going to start. Medyo ang problema dyan po sa House of Representatives, if they are going to conduct their own investigation po, ang problema dyan, some lawmakers are allegedly involved. So will it be biased or what? So the way how I look at it po, na medyo may question mark dyan po ang hearing or probe coming from the House of Representatives. And I will looking forward more on the Senate, as well as sabi nga ang majority leader ng House of Representatives, si Representative Sandro Marcos, the son of President Bongbong Marcos. He also prefer that the investigation should be done by a private body, institution po, not from the House of Representatives. So, let's see po ano ang decision ng House of Representatives po by next week, Baka mayroon sila announcement. So, ito po ang natin, ang mga problema dyan po sa Pilipinas, and I will make sure that I will monitor closely po, and whatever updates mayroon immediately sa mga kaibigan, mga kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia, be it in West or in East Malaysia, Sabah and Sarawak po, I will make sure that itong programa natin, itong The Real Talk with Nico, will immediately inform all of you. Kaya stick lang kayo po dito sa programa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico, and don't forget to subscribe, and kayo nang bahala po to make sure that every day na you will be able to get the necessary vital information that you deserve while you're at work, while after work, you're resting, tune in lang kayo po sa Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico, so that you will be informed and you will have the clear picture of what is happening in the Philippines po. And if you have some news regarding the Filipino community in Malaysia, dito lang yan po. I will also be sharing with you po. So, with this, siguro hanggang dito na naman tayo sa Sunday. Hope you enjoy your weekend po, Saturday and Sunday. And I'm wishing each and every one of us, all of you po, both in the Philippines, outside the Philippines po, kababayan, friends natin po, whatever nationality, I would like to say, sana lang po, this Monday, starting Monday hanggang Friday, you will have a very fruitful, meaningful, and problem-free working week. So with this, I would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day once again today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye.